What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Playmaker Way with the playbook, and y'all read the title, man. How to trade news, how to trade major red folder news and kind of orange folder. But I really want to talk about red folder news because that's the really news I really care about. There's news every day, right? There's news literally every day. I don't really care about the yellow folder. I only care about the red folder. I might keep in mind the orange folder, see what happens, but I only really care about the major news, and you should as well. So before we get started, this is your first time clicking the channel, welcome. I do appreciate you giving this channel a chance. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button because we do not just post information videos like this weekly, but we also trade live every day, London session 3 and EST on the same channel. So make sure to not miss out. And of course, if you're busy and you're not able to make the live, make sure to click that first link in the description. Join the free Telegram, free signal room. On the right side of your screen, you're going to see how we did for the day and how we're doing this week so far and last week. One of those. I'm going to show you something from the free signal room. Make sure to check that out. Now, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, there's a few things you need to understand about the news, right? The news matters, but it doesn't matter at the same time. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, and I go over this fully more in depth in the course and with the members in the Advanced Play Signal Room, but again, if you're going to be trading, especially if you're new, I want to help people have as hard of a learning curve as I did, right? Because I had to learn a lot of this stuff on my own, how to lose a lot of money, make a lot of mistakes, learn the hard way. So I want y'all to have a easier learning curve so y'all can get quicker to being a profitable trader. This is what you need to understand about the news. News is just an excuse to help push price where they want to push price. I'm going to say it again. The news, mainly the red folder major news, is just an excuse to push price the direction price was going to go 90% of the time anyways. Now, of course, it's not 100%. That's why I said 90% of the time. But again, for the most part, if you know how to read the charts and read the candlesticks, you can assume the direction price is going to go when the news pops off. Okay. And a good example of that is this trade that I called live today that we're currently deep in profit in. This was a GBP CAD trade that I called live on this morning's stream. And it's currently still pushing and we're deep in profit. This trade right here is a 1 to 3 risk to reward. 1 to 3 risk to reward, which means if I risk $50, I'm currently up $150. If I risked $100, I'm currently up $300. I've risked $1,000, I'm currently up $3,000. Okay. And as you can see here, this was the wick from the news event. And I called this trade right here. So we went down, wicked up, then drops back down. Now, let me explain something, right? Again, like I said, this isn't 100% of the time. So before we even go into this trade, I just want to point out that we're on a daily time frame. And I was able to, with this strategy, with these blue and yellow lines you see on your screen, was able to determine, one, the best place to enter the trade, which we literally entered right here. And two, the direction and potentially where price is going to go, which we clearly see is going on right here. Now, this is what you want to do. Now, before you enter, if there's news, right? There's news. I do not recommend doing what I did because I entered this trade around 3 a.m., right? And the news for the GBP wasn't until 7 a.m. So I entered this trade early. Now, I don't suggest you guys do that. I did it because I was confident in my trade and my levels are pretty accurate and good. And again, I've been doing this for a little while. So for new people, definitely practice on a demo. And I would suggest waiting until the news is over. All right. And what I mean by the news is over, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't watch the news. I don't care. I really don't care about that stuff. Like I said, I strictly just watch the candlesticks. I don't care about what they're talking about because at the end of the day, they're just reading a piece of paper that was handed to them. That's literally it. They're not controlling nothing, right? Powers that be control that stuff. The government, the president, whatever the case may be, they're just reading a piece of paper that was handed to them that they were told to read. And then coincidentally, as soon as they read that piece of paper, we see spikes or fluctuations. Not a coincidence, but you get what I mean. I suggest wait until the news is over. But if it's early, so hours before the news, it's safe to enter before the news. But when the news is about to come on, you need to know when the news is about to come on. You either need to close your trade, move SL on profit, or keep an eye on your chart. Okay. But for new people, and just to have a more accurate and a safer experience with news, especially the high volatile news like the FOMC, the CPIs, and then tomorrow, NFP, NFC. Those days, I suggest waiting until after the news. Okay. So now let's talk about what I mean by after the news. What I mean by after the news is at least 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. You want to wait until at least 10 to 15 minutes for that candlestick to close before you want to enter the trade. All right, that's what I suggest to do, because during that first 15 minutes, you're going to see a few things. You're going to see fluctuations, price spiking. I'm going to do a bar replay at the end of this video, so make sure to stay to the end. All right, so you can see a fluctuation like this. You might see a pump up the first 5 minutes, then a pump down, then a pump back up. Or you might see price pump up, and as soon as that 15 minutes over or the next 5 minutes starts, then you see a fake out, right? Or sometimes nothing will happen until the next 15 minutes or an hour later, right? So that's basically what you're going to see when it's major news. That's what you're going to see when it's major news. Now, there's going to be like a kind of a trade breakdown, but not too much. I'll probably do a trade breakdown on this and drop it tomorrow. But just really brief, really quick. Reason why I went for this trade is because we're clearly in the beginning of a downtrend. Now, if you don't understand how to identify the trend or read candlesticks, those are two things you need to know how to do accurately and properly before you enter any trades. Okay, it's going to make your life easier, and it's going to make your win percentage or win rate a lot higher. So go ahead and click that video that just popped up, how to identify the trend. I go over a real-time example of a trend changing and a real example of how to identify it. Make sure to check that out. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to link, or I might link it in the comments. I might do both. I'm going to post a video titled How to Read Candlesticks, because you need to know how to do both. But you can clearly see here that price is bearish, right? So if everything's showing me sells, I'm only going to look for sells. If everything's showing me buys, I'm only going to look for buys. And as you can see here, again, we entered on this daily candlestick here, and we literally caught this entire new lower low. I said we entered at around 3 o'clock. Was deep in profit right here. So you could have either closed the trade or kept the eye on your charts. Because when I show you this bar replay, you're going to see why I say that. Because again, sometimes it will hunt stop losses. You could have got wicked out, or could do a reversal, then potentially push back down, right? So you don't want to gamble with your money. You want to make sure that if you're in profit, that you secure those profits, whether that's moving SL in profit, taking partials, or simply closing. All right, especially when the news is coming on, because it's highly volatile. And again, you might know the overall direction price is going, but for that 15 minutes, that can change things up, right? And a good example of that before we get into this, was US 30 earlier this week, right? US 30 and NAS earlier this week. Let's go over NAS. All right. So me and the members caught this nice sell, right? We caught this nice sell down. Now let's go ahead and do a bar replay on this really quick so you can understand why we even took this sell. Boom. Now let's go on the daily time frame. And this was pre-news. So it's showing price pushed back up, but as you can see, we caught this sell down when price was still red. So price was bullish, but then we saw this candlestick here rejecting. So we saw potential that the downtrend could begin, because right here is a strong support resistance level. You see last time price hit this height, that's when the downtrend began, right? Let me zoom out. Last time price hit this level here, what do you see? You saw a harsh rejection come down, right? You also see a strong wall. You also see here, same level of price, harsh rejection down. This was all the way in July last summer, right? So if you see price react the same way multiple times to the same price levels, same key price levels, you want to identify those and keep those in mind. But anyways, as soon as the news started, because this was on the 31st, clearly see here, we had Canadian news, GBP, and then at 10 a.m. we had consumer confidence. When that 10 a.m. news started, that's when that caused price to wick up, coincidentally at this body of this wall of price right here, and explode back up and continue the bullish momentum. So that can happen as well. But why did that happen? It makes sense why that happened, because if you zoom out, you can see prior to this red candlestick, price is clearly bullish. You can see it's clearly bullish. So this just helped This was just a lower high to make the new higher high that happened the past couple days, yesterday and today. All right, so it still followed the trend. Like I said, the news just helps push price where they want it to go. And 90% of the time, it's going to continue to go the direction and trend price is going. Okay, so that's one thing you need to understand. Now, let's look at GBP CAD, what happened when the news started. All right, so this was prior to the news. Nice profit. Then look what happens when the news starts. That was too quick. That was too quick. Let's run that back and slow it down. Let's run that back and slow it down. We're nice and profit. I want y'all to see what happens when the news started. Boom. Right? Now let's pause that. This was the spiked fluctuation. Remember I told you at the beginning? This thing literally, this is what price did. Literally was going down. This is the candlestick before news. This is the candlestick of news. Literally wicked up, retested this daily level, this resistance level, then tanked right back down to where price left off. And this happened within the first 5 minutes. As you can see, the first 5 minutes wicked up. The next 5 minutes drops back down. This is a real live example of price still following the overall direction and trend. But you see the fluctuations and the fake outs and stuff like that. This video helped y'all out. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below any questions, comments, concerns. If you're interested in learning how to identify these key levels on these blue and golden lines, click the second link in the description. The course is out. I go over how to trade news, my buy sell limit strategy, how to identify the trend, how to read candlestick top properly, calculate your lot size, and how to trade any chart, any pair. Because this strategy isn't just with Forex. This is with options, works with crypto, works with indices, works with gold. If it has candlesticks as a chart, this strategy is going to work. All right, make sure to join the first link in the description, join the free Telegram. If you want to contact me directly, hit me up on Instagram at the bottom of your screens at playmaker_way. Also, make sure to follow me on TikTok. I post daily on both. Some stuff I can't post on TikTok, so I post that stuff on Instagram. And the other stuff I post on TikTok, so make sure to follow both. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video or the next time I'm live. We out.